beer, dude. While people waited for us to start talking, and then I realized I can't fucking pound beer anymore. I'm 39 years old, dude. If you're 39 and can still chug beer, give us a shout out. All right. Anyways, hey, dude, this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Let me put my beer somewhere. This is Tyler Big Turd Ward and Jason, the lucky bastard. Well, today, man, we're going to be talking strength of schedule. You're like, holy shit, man. I hear about this all the time, man. Sports radio. I already know that Dallas has the fucking worst schedule from like weeks 11 on. They only face teams with 11 wins or more. And they've got like 4-day waits or 4-day short weeks, dude. 2 short weeks, 4-day weeks for the Eagles and the Chiefs, Jason. So good luck with your fucking Cowboys, all right? And hey, and everybody already knows the San Francisco 49ers already has the best schedule, okay? Well, newsflash, assholes. That doesn't mean they've got good fantasy schedules. Right now, dude, I'm looking at Juwan Jennings. We'll talk about this in a minute, but he's got a pretty shitty playoff schedule and some of that shit in general. So just because they've got good schedules doesn't mean they've got a good fantasy schedule. So that's what we're hitting today, Jason, okay? If that makes sense to you, to your ears, dog. We're also on Spotify. Jason, please help us out.
We're also on Spotify. Yeah. Please subscribe, like, vomit in the comments. We're also on the radio on Spotify, like Tyler said. Apple Podcasts. We got a Patreon. And we have thank you buttons on all of our videos if you're feeling friendly. Well, thank you.
We want friends. All right, hey, friends for life. If you subscribe, dog, just let me know when you're in town. Ah! Okay, anyways, hey, news and brews, Jason. We got the news, we got the brews.
Hey, you said you had a crazy intro. It was going to make me laugh.
Dude, damn it. I was all, and guess what, motherfuckers? It's 69 degrees in here, so you know we're going to get hot. And it's as I just look at Jason's, there's a temperature over Jason's shoulder, and it was 69 degrees.
Oh yeah, that's pretty close to that. Okay. Yeah, it's like 68.
Damn it, dude. I should have tied it in with that whole ear sex thing I was talking about.
Oh, that would have been perfect. Dude, I'm sitting here waiting. I'm like, where's this punchline, dude? I don't know where this punchline's at. I'm so confused.
Hey, man, don't drink and tell jokes. Never works out very well. I just told Jason, yeah, I needed to be reminded of what I said 2 minutes ago. So, fuck. Anyways, Jason says my brain needs to be studied when I die for the memory purposes. But guess what, dude? I know fantasy, all right? I just rattled off those stats off my fucking top of my head. I didn't even write that shit down. But hey, man, before we get into the strength of schedules for people, okay? We're going to talk about the news and the brews. Guess what? There's only one thing, Jason. Did you see that Brock Purdy got his new contract? Did you see that?
Yeah, congratulations, Brock Purdy. Mr. Irrelevant is now relevant.
He was picked 262. Now his contract is worth 265. So pretty close there. I think it works out to like $53 million per year. Really, the 49ers only in it for 3 years because it's 181 guaranteed. Then they can get rid of him if they want to. So, with their situation as far as, salary cap and all the draft picks and everything else, I think it's actually a pretty good move and good for Brock Purdy. Again, he had a roommate going to the goddamn Super Bowl. So, yeah, he needed some more money, but I would have hoped it was in the 40s. I was up in high 40s for the 49ers. It's low 50s. So, yeah, not the greatest thing, but at least it's not a fucking 60, Jason.
Yeah. Yep.
I want to say it's less than Dak Prescott. I can't remember what Dak Prescott signed for.
Right now, Kyle Shanahan looks like a genius.
It's funny because he traded all those picks, Jason, for Trey Lance, and I drafted him that year, and it was terrible. Hey, but anyways, dude, hey, let's get into this because really that's all the news I could find, which is whatever, dude. That's some big news. I'm going to share this with you because I've got all of fantasypros.com. They release their strength of schedule, and then I put it into an easier read thing.
I have some news.
What is the news?
The Colts were they bullied Tyreek Hill.
How the fuck they do that?
Something about I don't know, man. I wish I actually saw it, but apparently when they did their schedule release, it had something to do with Tyreek Hill getting arrested. Like for some reason, yeah. Apparently it was pretty bad because they ended up deleting it and apologizing to Tyreek Hill. And I'm like, oh my god, I want to see what this is. Like, who does that?
Damn, dude.
Is that crazy?
I was just saying, the only people that bully Tyreek Hill, Jason, are plus-size models, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, he bullies them, actually.
Well, he's like, you can't tackle me, and then he runs full speed, and then breaks their leg. Yeah, you're right. He does bully that. If he gets bullied, he gets him back. Let's just put it that way.
Right. He gets vengeance.
Vengeance. All right, dude. Let me. Anyways, I had to work hard today for longer than I thought, so my shit's a little behind. Guess what, though? We're gonna be okay. So I've got some. I've got some tables here, and this is for strength of schedule for quarterbacks. We're going to go over quarterbacks first, Jason, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
So we got the best and the worst. We have them in tiers, right? So it's not like there's a clear-cut best, worst. They're kind of in tiers. So you can see that Jackson Dart is obviously the worst. We'll talk about that in a minute, Jason. But yeah, so there it is. And I've been talking too much. Do you want to start with the worst, and then we'll end on positivity, Jason?
Yeah, so the worst quarterback is Russell Wilson. He has the worst strength of schedule. The Giants are actually projected 5.5 wins this year. So they play the Commanders twice, the Eagles twice, the Broncos, 49ers, Packers, Bears, Vikings, and a Week 14 bye, which sucks. So 9 games versus defenses that allow under 16 points per game to quarterbacks. The Commanders and Eagles and 49ers defense, they allow under 200 passing yards a game last year. So he did play against the Commanders last year, and he did score 19 points. So kudos to Russell Wilson for doing that. It was 3 touchdowns and under 200 yards receiving. So it sounds like it was very touchdown dependent that game, but hey, it worked out. He also played the Eagles and only scored 8 points last year, and he went 128 yards and 1 touchdown. So it looks like week 2 through 5 is likely his best stretch of defenses. But week 15 and week 16, he plays the Commanders and Vikings, already up there on a worse schedule, strength of schedule for him. Wilson's ADP is far down anyway, and that will he's mainly going to be like a streaming option. You won't be starting him most weeks next 2025 anyway.
And Jason, you're right, because I had Jackson Dart written down, and now I'm thinking about it. With their terrible schedule, I mean, across the board, man, running and passing, terrible schedules. I'm thinking that they probably will be rolling out Russell Wilson until a certain week. They're not going to be starting Jackson Dart. I mean, the way Mike Tomlin the way that Brian Daboll is and everything, they want to raise him the right way. Be a good dad. And if you're a good dad, you're not going to fucking start him the first week. So they've got a couple sacrificial lambs there between Jameson Winston and that. But how do you feel about? Because I don't think Malik Neighbors. Is Malik Neighbors on this list as well for worst schedule for wide receivers? Just wondering.
Yep.
Okay, we'll talk about that in a minute because I was like, I wonder how this affects him. So yeah, because I was listening to radio and I was like, yeah, Russell Wilson. I was listening to some deep ball stats, and Russell Wilson's deep ball was pretty fucking good. That was his strength last year, and I'm thinking Malik Neighbors. What'd you say?
I'm sorry. That's always been his strength. He's got the moon ball.
Exactly. So I'm just like, man. I'm just kind of wondering how this really affects him. But you are correct. I just want to point out that Jackson Dart will not be starting until probably halfway through the year with that team, dude. With this fucking schedule, I think that's the biggest take I have from this.
Yeah, and when I was doing this, I didn't even think about that. Like, there's a good chance by like week 6 probably that Darts is probably going to get the start.
Well, you said the best stretch was like from 2 to 5 or something like that.
Oh, true. Yeah, so maybe a little bit after than that. Yeah, that's our best stretch.
Yeah, I could see them like not starting him until there's a cake matchup after that, or maybe even after the bye, because I'm sure they don't have unless their bye is early.
No, dude, their bye is week 14.
Yeah, so like they might even be after the fucking bye to be on for reals. So and we're not starting, and nobody's out there drafting Russell fucking Wilson, but Malik Neighbors is going to be the most heavily affected by all this. So we'll talk about that in about 3 chapters. All right, 3 chapters.
All right, you ready for the next one?
Hell fucking yeah, Jason.
All right, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's got it.
Speaking of worrying about something and not worrying about something, go on.
Yeah, Bengals are projected to win 9.5 games this year. So they play against the Vikings, the Broncos, the Packers, Steelers twice, Bears, Bills, Dolphins, with a week 10 bye. The Dolphins and Packers last year allowed 200 passing yards per game. The 2 games versus the Steelers he played against last year, he scored 17 points. He had 290 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And then I put and 1 touchdown. I don't know why I put that. Oh, I guess in the second game they played, he only scored 1 touchdown. And versus the Broncos, he went off for 37 points, 412 yards, and 3 touchdowns last year. Yeah, that was like, I think also in like week 16. So that happened in the fantasy playoffs.
Continue on, Jason. I'm gonna pee my pants.
Okay, I do believe. So during the fantasy playoffs, the teams outside the top 12 quarterback scoring allow 3 out of the 4 weeks. I don't know what that sentence means. I don't know what I was writing right there. I don't understand what that means. So I think I'm trying to say during the fantasy playoffs, 3 out of those 4 weeks, he is going up against 12 quarterback or defenses that are top 12 quarterback scoring allowed. I think that's what I was trying to put. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh wow. His ADP is quarterback 5, but Tyler, I'm not concerned about Joe Burrow. He did already have concerns of regressions because of his elite level of play last season, but he's probably the best pocket passer in the league, and he can, I do believe, repeat 2024 and put up another million fucking stats and touchdowns if everyone stays healthy. That offense is too good, so I'm really not too concerned with Joe Burrow.
I mean, so with the worst offensive line in football, almost one of the worst football lines, he fucking was like insane. So. And when you face a good defense, the thing you worry about more is like interior pressure and stuff like that. Guess what, dude? It didn't matter. He faced that every fucking game last year.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to write that too. It's like, doesn't matter. This guy could like lead the league in sacks in the last like 4 years, but he's still going to put up touchdown and yards. So. And
then I was trying to think about their draft picks this year. I thought they addressed the offensive line. They got an offensive guard, Fairchild, in the 3rd round. Offensive tackle in the 5th round, Jalen Rivers. And then they got Taj Brooks, who is kind of like, I think Samaje Perine is actually back there. But Taj Brooks should be taking that Perine role for the 3rd down back because he is a fucking awesome pass catcher for running backs. Chase Brown, I'm hoping is a 3 down back. 4 down back in this day and age. But still, that is worth noting as well for those two. So he got another pass catching back, Jason. So he's got so many fucking options, man. It's insane.
Yeah, this offense is going to be too good either way. Like, I'm not changing my ADP on Joe Burrow just because of his strength of schedule.
I'm excited for your next one, Jason. Are you going to go over Jordan Love?
Yep, Jordan Love. Here we go. Get my notes here.
Fool took a sophomore slump pretty much, but it was like a 5th year.
Sophomore dump. So the Packers are projected 9.5 wins for next year. They play the Vikings twice, the Bears twice, Commanders, Eagles, Broncos, Steelers, and a Week 5 bye. Eagles and Commanders allow under 20 yards passing per game last year. So versus the Eagles last year, 17 points. He had one 31-point game versus the Eagles, or the Vikings, and the other game against the Vikings, he only scored 14 points. Then he had 21 points in one game versus the Bears. And then the second game against the Bears, he only had 2 points. But I think he got injured in that second game. So it looks like he'll at least have one good game against NFC North team. So he's going to go 50-50. For following the pattern from last year. His ADP's quarterback 16. I believe that is a right spot for him. I know about how they drafted. They do want to focus on the passing game, but with this difficult schedule, we could see a repeat of 2024, and the Packers rely a lot on Josh Jacobs.
Yeah, and you know what? Yeah, and I'm just thinking, Jason, on top of my head, like, say the Bears fix it offensively 2 times a year in the division, man. They got to go against the Vikings, who fucking score points. Now that they have that pass rush, they've got to go against the Lions, who of course score points. I know Ben Johnson's gone, but still they've got that offensive line. And then they've got the Bears. So it's like every team in this division can score a ton of points. That is one positive. But in my mind, I was thinking about, the Packers defense being good. Man, I went back. They were like top 5 against the pass. And I don't even know what they were against the run, but they had one of the youngest defenses. It was almost like the Rams. Their defense was amazing last year. And that's not really what translates to a lot of quarterback fantasy success. So that's another negative there too. So I'm just pointing out a couple more negatives and positives.
Yeah, all the defenses that I will name in my notes were top 10 in quarterback, or let's say bottom 10 in quarterback scoring, or that position scoring allowed last year. And Packers are on there. A lot of NFC North teams are going to be on this list for defenses.
Yeah, no shit. And the Vikings got some fucking awesome defensive players again. Anyways, so we won't talk about the Vikings. All right, man, real fast. Let's go over the best strength of schedules for quarterbacks real fast. Tua Tagovailoa. His biggest problem, man, he fucking missed 6 games last year due to a concussion. His season ended due to a concussion. Teron Armstead, his success is tied to Teron Armstead. Guess what, dude? That fool just retired in April. That's not good. He was quarterback 13, averaging 17 points per game. I like my quarterback to average 18 or more because that's a lot more 20-point games. But still, I mean, a serviceable quarterback. He had more points per game than Justin Herbert and Jordan Love, and those were both people drafted way kind of higher. I don't know. I think Tua and Justin Herbert were similar, but Jordan Love was definitely drafted higher. Yeah. His playoff schedule, Jason, the Steelers, 29th versus the quarterback. So a terrible matchup in that first week. Then he gets the fucking Bengals. So you tell me the Miami Dolphins versus the Bengals, that's a streamer that week for sure. And then the Bucks. So 2 amazing playoff matchups. So Tua, if he makes it through the year, that's what you're gambling with. I would not draft him as my quarterback 1. You're drafted him at the end of the fucking at the end of whatever for your backup, dude. So you can save him for the end of the year, maybe, or you're picking him off of waivers. Holy shit, as well. And then I know that his offensive line is so important with Teron Armstead gone. They did draft a guard in the second round. They signed a guard and tackle in free agency, a couple of veterans, so that's good. But it's mostly for depth, as what I saw. So their offensive line should be actually downgraded from last year without a healthy Teron Armstead. And then, of course, Tua had the lowest intended air yards and the highest completion rate. So I do see his floor being very high, like 2 touchdowns and 200 yards per game, no problem. But his upside, Jason, is what we're worried about. And I don't think he's got that fucking 40-point game like he did a couple of years ago versus the Bills.
Yeah, this is actually, I like this a lot. I mean, that's still that. I mean, what you just said about the whole offensive line. The offensive line was the reason why his passing changed so much last year and why Achane and Smith benefit a lot from it. And the information you just said, they didn't do shit to really improve it in the draft, which I thought they were going to. So you're telling me he has the best strength of schedule, and they still didn't improve that offensive line. Dude, there could be a repeat of Jonnu Smith and Devon Achane still
fucking A
going crazy again.
And you got to think this guy's got 4 elite weapons, pretty much. Waddle, I can name him, but if you're watching the show, you fucking know him. So yeah, he's got everything he needs to be successful, top 5 quarterback, really. But it's just the way that he gets injured is going to keep him down. So that's what you're worrying with there. So I would not take him as my quarterback 1. I would take him as my quarterback 2, and with a ton of upside. And then, Jason, Justin Fields.
Oh, we got a question, Tyler.
What's up, dog?
We got a question from Chad the Dad.
Chad the Dad. I know a Chad, and he is a dad. What's up?
So he's got Mike Evans, DK, Aaron Jones, and he's selling Judkins and AR. Does he take this?
So you're trading, right? For Judkins and AR?
He's selling, yeah, I think so. Selling, and then Judkins and AR, do I take this? It's a full PPR, Superflex, 12-team, start, 11, 2.
So I do not want Anthony Richardson whatsoever, but Judkins is, we'll talk about him in a minute.
No. Okay, sorry, I see it now. He gets Mike Evan and DK, Aaron Jones, and he's selling Judkins and AR.
If it's not Dynasty, then yes.
Dynasty.
Oh my God, dude. That's why it's difficult, because Judkins is going to be like fucking Nick Chubb 2.0.
Dude, I think I might keep that.
Yeah, I'd probably keep Judkins on that because of the age of the other players. So that's a fair trade if you want to think about it more and just take your own opinion. Like, it really is a fair trade. But we'll talk about this in a minute. I'd probably keep Judkins because, dude, that running back dynasty shit is pretty important for the next 3 to 5 years. And as long as Kevin Stefanski's there, he's probably going to be there for another 3 years. Yeah, I would probably keep that.
Dude, this guy got Judkins and Harvey.
Shit. On Dynasty?
Yeah.
Yeah, just roll with that, dude. Don't worry about the rest. And if Anthony Richardson hits, that's fucking icing on the cake. So, because if it was redraft league, I'd be like, oh, no problem. It's like I was thinking maybe it was keeper or something like that. But you're right. With rookies, there's no keepers, so it has to be dynasty. There you go. Hey, also remember, people, Jason and I, we need to join a goddamn dynasty league. If you want to invite us, we'll accept. Okay. Yeah. Justin Fields, dog. Jason and I both like Justin Fields this year for our quarterback 2. He was quarterback 4, Jason, 22 points, pretty much 23 points per game. Weeks 3 through 6 before losing his job to Russ. So weeks 1 through 2, who gives a fuck as far, I mean, that's still preseason for all I'm concerned. For like a month after that, man, my dog even understands as well. My dog's horny, whatever, if you can hear that. Full average 23 points per game. That is literally like top tier shit right there. And then quarterback 11, averaging 18 points per game in Chicago is last year in Chicago. Dude, Chicago doesn't even know how to handle quarterbacks. It's like the fucking Jets. So I'm thinking his floor, Jason, is like 17, 18 points. His ceiling is a fucking like top tier quarterback, which is insane. But then let's look at his strength of schedule real fast. The Browns. I think the Browns fucking defense is going to be insane this year with Myles Garrett and that white dude that they drafted from Michigan. I would not want to fuck around with the Browns defense because I think their offense is going to be better as well. Bounce back year for the Browns. Packers, Jason, they were 30th. They gave up the 30th most points to fantasy quarterbacks. That's a terrible matchup. And they were all young. So looking at that, no thanks. And then the 49ers, man. The 49ers were still good against the pass, Jason, or against quarterbacks at least. And their defense got better this offseason with a bunch of new pass rushers and some people in the back end. I know they traded everybody. You know what? I take that back because they traded everybody. So 49ers might take a step back, but by the end of the year when this playoff schedule comes up, it might be a bad matchup. So Justin Fields is a huge target for me as my backup quarterback with huge upside. Quarterback 4, Jason, but he does have a pretty shitty playoff schedule when it matters.
I have been thinking how crazy would it be if I put Justin Fields as a quarterback 1.
Hey, dude. For that? Yeah. And say you got Garrett Wilson, Jason, I think that you should definitely pick up Justin Fields.
Yeah, and do a little stack. I don't know. I'm trying to see the running or the quarterbacks that's going around in that area, and I'm like, I feel like I will get Justin Fields. And now you're telling me they also has one of the best strength of schedules. I don't know. I guess depending how late I'm waiting, like if I got Justin Fields and then as my number 2, like CJ Stroud in the back.
Dude, CJ Stroud, I'm all about CJ Stroud this year. Right. So I get that. Yeah. And hey, let's end this up with Drake May real fast. Quarterback 14, averaging 17 points per game once he became a full-time starter. So like I said, I like 18 points. This guy was 17 points. New England, Jason, 31st in run block win rate and 32nd in pass block win rate. They literally had the worst fucking offensive line in football. And this guy still averaged 17 points per game. So you're taking the fact that they drafted offensive tackle, like I think it was like 4th overall or some shit like that. I mean, the first tackle in the draft they took. Then they drafted a center in the 3rd round, another tackle in the 7th. We got Mike Vrabel over there. He wants to run the football a lot more, maybe some more play action, protecting him. So with their draft, Jason, it's going to go up, dude. So just talk about they had the worst offensive line. They might have the 25th worst offensive line this next year, but it will be an improvement in Drake Bay in the 2nd year. Holy shit. And I talked about Hunter Henry, Jason. So he's got some tools there. And he's got Stephon Diggs, for God's sakes. Dude, the Bills, so then his playoff schedule, the Bills, the Ravens, and the Jets. The Bills were really tough against the pass, if you remember that. The Ravens actually were 8th, gave it the 8th most versus the pass. I do not see that continuing because of the way they changed their separation rate and the way they finished last year, and then they drafted that fucking safety, dude. I do not want to get pass catchers that are playing against the fucking Ravens. And then the Jets. So 3 shitty matchups in the playoffs for Drake May, but I still would take him as my quarterback 2 with upside. Not quarterback 1. You're getting him as your quarterback 2.
I think I'm putting Drake May like 5 ranks higher after this draft. I mean, you didn't even mention
Jatavion Smith or Jatavion, whatever his name is.
Henderson.
Travion Henderson.
Yeah, Antonio Gibson 3.0, and then they got that wide receiver that everyone is hyping about, that like Kyle Williams. If there's any improvement in that offensive line, Drake might be winning some leagues this year.
He may be winning some years this league this year. When you said May, I was like, oh yeah, totally.
Drake may win some leagues this year.
Oh shit! All right, dog. Let's get into the running backs. Hit me with the worst.
RJ Harvey.
Oh, that's right. I got pissed at this. This literally pissed me off.
Yeah, Harvey Dent.
Harvey Dent.
Two-Face.
A hero becomes his worst enemy, or I forget what it was. The biggest fall. The White Knight. Yeah, there you go, Jason.
The Broncos are projected to win 9.5 games this year. They play the Chargers twice, the Chiefs twice, Eagles, Texans with a Week 12 bye. The Chargers, Chiefs, and Eagles were bottom 3 in running back scoring allowed last year. These three teams averaged 12 points per game for running backs. What?
These three teams.
Oh,
I had to play that dude on the piano. My mom still has a video of it, and then there's a fucking 20-second pause between dun dun dun, 20 seconds, dun 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 dun. They always laugh and make fun of my piano playing. But continue.
Okay. Eagles and Chiefs, they average only 103 rushing yards per game between the two. He's a rookie. He's never played these teams before. Week 13 through 16 is his best matchup. So the ending of the regular season into fantasy playoffs is the best matchups for him. This is great. His ADP is running back 23 right now. So I have no fear in Harvey Dent because of his ability to catch the ball. He may not get as many rushing yards as expected this year, but I can see a buttload of receptions win or lose. So I think ADP running back 23 is perfect. I think that's fine.
Oh, dude, if he's my running back 2, I'll be stoked. And because he's probably not going to be going as a running back 2 next year. If I had a bet in the Sean Payton offense, and that is because of his pass catching. Jason, you just mentioned it. I drafted Reggie Bush. I think is either rookie or second. I can't remember what it was, man. But I had some amazing seasons with Reggie Bush before he got injured. When they have somebody that can catch the ball and run the ball, man, they fucking use them, dude. And when they don't, it's like after Reggie Bush got injured, it was like, we're going to get like Pierre Thomas in here and Reggie Bush. But when it was all like healthy, dude, it was just a monster back there. So I'm expecting maybe that potential there his upside, Jason, is top 5, and I'm not even fucking around. Yeah. So, yeah, I know he's got a terrible schedule, but with his pass catching ability in full PPR, dude, I would be ecstatic to have him. I will be targeting him in the 4th round, like a Devon Achane his rookie year.
Yeah, he's going to be on everybody's radar, and I don't think the strength of schedule is going to matter to this particular running back, especially at RB23.
Jason, are you going to talk about Javonte Williams or Joe Mixon?
No, I'm not talking about fucking any Cowboy running back. That ain't happening. I'm going to talk about Joe Mixon. He's my number 2
This pissed me off as well, Jason. This pissed me off as well, to be honest.
Texans are projected to win 9.5 games next year. They play the Buccaneers, the Ravens, the Broncos, the Chiefs, the Chargers with a Week 6 bye. Ravens, Buccaneers, and Broncos were in the top 5 defenses in rushing yards allowed, or bottom 5, whatever. He did play the Chiefs last year. 7 points, 23 yards on 12 attempts. And when he played the Ravens, 4 points, 26 yards on 9 attempts. The best weeks are 10 through 13. He has decent matchups in the playoffs, but he plays the Chargers in Week 17. That's Fantasy Championship. ADP, RB15. No, sir. That is too early for me, especially when we saw how much he dropped off at the end of the season last year. I'm not trusting that O-line just yet with this strength of schedule.
We're talking about Javonte Williams? Yeah, I would not fucking pick up
Joe Mixon.
Oh, Joe Mixon. Yeah, dude, Joe Mixon, I remember when I came out with some early rankings, and I was like, dude, Joe Mixon was like a top 12 running back. And I was like, I will die on that fucking hill, dude. And he ended up the season, man, when they didn't have anything going on offense, he could not carry that team. He needs that team to be clicking. And I'm really high on CJ Stroud, so I'm like, fuck. How do I feel about Joe Mixon? And then they show me Joe Mixon's at one of the worst schedules. I think it's gonna be one of the biggest mysteries, Jason. It's gonna be one of the biggest roll of the dice of the offseason. Like, would you want him as your running back 2? Or could you maybe get him as your running back 3 and then I'd be super happy as my running back 3. As my running back 2, Jason, he might be a pain in the fucking ass. Getting 2 points and then 20 points and then 5 points and then 20 points. So depending on the matchup with the schedule, it might be a big factor. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this one for a long time before the season starts.
Yeah, I mean, you even said like when the Texans weren't clicking last year, he started to like not play well. That Chiefs game, they only had like 7 points. That's when the Texans almost won, and they put up like 28 points that game. So when there's a defense that is stopping the run with that offensive line, Joe Mixon ain't getting shit.
I know. It's like he's not getting you those extra. He's not a difference maker. He's just a serviceable in a functioning offense. He can get you a lot of points because he was like running back 5 for like a stretch there.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I was upset when I saw. I needed that motherfucker to get a good schedule, and he did not. Do you have any more?
I got one more. I got Jonathan Taylor.
I got one more.
Jonathan Taylor. The Colts are projected 7.5 wins. So they play the Texans twice, Chargers, Steelers, Chiefs, Falcons with the Week 11 bye. The Texans, Steelers, and Chiefs don't allow more than 109 rushing yards a game last season. Versus the Steelers, he did have 16 points, 1 touchdown, and 88 rushing yards. He averaged 13 points versus the Texans with an average of 70 rushing yards and 1 touchdown between 2 games. He might have one of the best fantasy playoffs because that is the best stretch for defenses for him is between Week 14 and Week 17. So I like that. That's when he's going to play the weakest defenses against the run. His ADP is RB6. With him being that high, everyone is projecting him to still get at least 20 touches a game. So if he's still getting 20 touches a game, his RB6 is going to be worth it. He's going to be another value.
So he's going as RB6 right now.
Yes.
I think I had him as an avoid. I had him as an avoid when you look at running back value, but that was just such a shitty year for him. Or maybe he was a +4. I gotta remember. Go back and look at the running back value things. But am I actively what I want was? Would you take him as your running back 1, Jason?
Yeah, I would. I would. Because I mean, it's what we saw last year. If he continues what he did, that's what we got to hope on, right? The last 4 or 5 games, he was averaging 25 carries a game. He had 2 games with 30 plus carries. Any running back that's getting that, I want that.
And what does that line up with, Jason? That lines up with the coach Shane Steichen, man. Wherever he's gone, they've run the fuck out of the ball. So that lines up with his philosophy. And Jonathan Taylor has the potential to be a number 1 back. He's done it before overall. So yeah, I think that he was a bare. I can't remember. I think I was saying he was the bare minimum that I would take for my running back 1, or maybe it was Chase Brown, but that's too. I think Chase Brown's like a high-end running back 2 because you don't know with all the people they fucking have over there.
I mean, they did draft a rookie too, that TJ Giddens that I did like.
Yeah, so probably So I think he might be bare bottom of what I want for my running back 1, hero running back. If you're looking at hero running back strategy, that type of shit.
I have him as my running back 7.
There you go. I can't remember what we have. Go back and look at our rankings. I've been drinking. I don't remember that shit.
Tyler, did your microphone change?
Oh, fuck. Hello.
Hey, there we go. Heyo.
That's how we talk. But guess what, Jason? I had to go pee, and that doesn't rhyme with. I had to walk over there. That doesn't rhyme with shit. All right. Anyways, you ready for some good matchups, Jason? For some
let me
good
hear 'em.
matchups. All right. So I'm at the top. Brees Hall's in a tier by himself. All right. So Brees Hall has by far the best schedule. And then I was like, dude, Brees Hall fucking sucked so bad last year, Jason. I mean, we were talking about the number 2. We were talking about, I can't remember his name. The number 2 and the number 3 running backs over there. We're fucking killing it. He scored under 12 points 8 times last season as a running back 16. So I know that he had his game. So he got up to a high-end running back 2. But when you think about your running back scoring 12 points or under 8 times, half the season, Jason, that is god awful. He missed a game, so it was more than half the games he's played. was like not even starting running back 2s. He's going as running back 17 right now. So he's kind of like, he's not being overpriced. So I think that Breece Hall actually might be somebody that I target with Justin Fields. I know that's fucking crazy because I've been avoiding Breece Hall for like 3 years in a row. But this season, he's actually priced appropriately. I mean, he ended the season as running back 16. He's going to running back 17, and that was one of the worst years he could have. So, yeah, dude, he's got potential to be a top 5, 6, 7 running back. Is that going to happen? I doubt it. But, man, if it's in the cards, I don't mind taking him as my running back, too. So, and then you look at, he's got a crazy playoff schedule. Jacksonville. They got Liam Cohen, and they do not have that fucking Vita Vea is not showing up or anything like that. He's not concerned with defense right now. So Jacksonville's going to be leaking a lot of points to running backs, I feel like, next year. They gave up the second most last year. It's going to be probably 3 or more this year. Third or most, I should say. So amazing fucking opportunity in the first week of playoffs. So say he gets you through the first round. Then you get to go against New Orleans. And they've got Kellen Moore, Jason. They're transitioning from defense to offense. So, yeah, a pretty good opportunity the second round. The one they do play New England in the playoffs. They gave up the 8th most points to running backs last year. With Mike Vrabel, I guarantee that is not the case. That defense is going to be tough by the end of the year, so I don't like that. But still, Breece Hall, Jason, going appropriately as a running back 2. He's got a pretty awesome playoff schedule. One of the best if you look at running backs. And, yeah, with Justin Fields in there, Jason, I am thinking I might be targeting Breece Hall in the, like, if he makes it to the, dude, I don't know if I get him in the 3rd round, but if he made it to the 4th round, I'd be all about it.
Yeah, I like when you said that now it's all about his price because it's the truth. We're not getting him in the 1st round in the top, like, 6 picks this year. We're getting him.
That's why I've been avoiding him for, like, 3 years in a row because he's gone, like, top 5.
We're getting him in the later rounds. He can be, a pass catching running back. Was it like 2 years ago before Aaron Rodgers? He was like number 1 or number 2.
He has so many targets, it's insane. Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's going to happen because he has a running quarterback now. Running quarterbacks usually run it other than pass off. But when you're telling me that the running is going to be improved because of his strength of schedule, that's going to help him out because we know this guy is talented. We've seen what he's done before in the past, right? Whatever happened last year with the Jets, I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm talking to my therapist about it. We're trying to break it down of what happened last year. It's really eating me up inside.
Just like that chlamydia.
We got what?
I'm kidding. Jason has no STDs.
I was like, I thought you said for a second. I thought you said like I control the media. Then I'm like, I think you said something about chlamydia.
The media, the club media.
Anyway, yeah. Now the price for Breece Hall is good. It's a good price.
So, hey, man, yeah, Breece Hall, go check him out, dude. It's like me suggesting to go get Deebo Samuel because I've been talking shit about Deebo Samuel for 3 years. I've been talking about Breece Hall, shit about Breece Hall for like 3 years. All right, man. Travion Henderson, Jason. We're going to talk about rookies for the next 2 picks. He was drafted at the top of the 2nd round. Mike Vrabel is there. Do they want to do play action up the butt? Just think about Tannehill, A.J. Brown, and whoever, fucking Derrick Henry, for God's sakes. Derrick Henry, before this last year, his best years were with Mike Vrabel. Travion Henderson with Drake May should be amazing, you would think. Because look at the target. It's going to go to Stephon Diggs. They got DeMario Douglas. It's like Temu wide receivers out there, Jason. And then they just brought in a fucking like an Etsy or some high end running back. So like the talent is going to be in the backfield, and he's a pass catching specialist, Jason. And so I am all about Travion Henderson. If I can get him in the later rounds, maybe throw him in my flex at the end of the year. Holy shit, dude! He could win people some championships. Now, I talk about championships because he didn't get you through the 1st round. Remember the Bills without Milano? I can't remember if I think they might have had to drop Milano this last year, actually. They gave up the 3rd most points in fantasy to running backs. They were all about stopping the pass. I just talked about them stopping the pass. they had to run the ball against the Bills. So there's so much opportunity against the Bills. It's crazy. And then the Ravens in the week, I think what is it, week 16, the second round of playoffs, and then the Jets in the next round. So two pretty shitty matchups after that. But Travion Henderson, man, for upside and price, give him to me, Jason. I will be trying to pick him up. I don't think I want Drake May. I don't know if I want Drake May. I need to think about getting Drake May as my quarterback too. I still need to think about that. But Travion Henderson is probably the most targeted Patriots that I'm going to go for this season.
I'm glad that you said that because the Bills gave up the second most receptions to running backs last year with 92.
Fucking A, dude. Yeah, there you go. So it's first round. He's getting you through.
And then you said the Ravens was the second round. Well, they gave up the 10th most receptions to running backs last year.
Dude, I think the Ravens defense is going to be like historic this year. I don't know why. I'm just fucking tripping balls.
So, and then I don't know. I don't know what you want me to say about that. I was trying to.
I don't want you to say.
I was trying to help
the Oh, the Ravens got exactly what they needed. The Ravens got everything. They're fucking right. I was like, God damn it, dude, Ravens.
I can't see the Ravens being that bad on defense 2 years in a row.
Well, remember, Jason, I mean, they were bad on defense, but they're separate. They allowed the least amount of separation to wide receivers the entire year. So it was like, it was a matter of time before they were the best defense in the league. And they were stopping the run at the 25th highest rate. So there you go. All right, Jason, real fast. Quinshon Judkins, they traded up, dude. The Browns traded up to the second round to draft him. Jason's fucking comp on this guy was Nick Chubb. This offensive line got two dudes injured in the beginning of the year. I was supposed to look him up, but I didn't. I talked to my coworker all the time about it. They are back. This offensive line could be a top 5 offensive line again. Pass protection and run protection. The only wrench I see in this, Jason, they drafted Dylan Sampson, who I liked as well, in the 4th round. So they spent a second round, dude, traded up top of the second round to get this guy, Quinshon Judkins. Then they also drafted Dylan Sampson. They want to run the hell out of the ball because they don't know who the fucking quarterback is. They got 2 rookies and fucking Joe Flacco. So they need to run the ball. So somebody is going to be going nuts. And Kevin Stefanski likes that workhorse running back, dog. So roll the dice on Quinshon Judkins. He's got the best chance out of anybody to be the workhorse running back here. He gets the Bears, man. And with that, and the Bears are you're not going to pass against them. That's just the way it is. You have to run the ball against them. So the Bills, again, Jason, they fucking gave up the 3rd most running points to running back. So the Bears and the Bills, 2 amazing matchups. And then the Steelers, they gave up the 22nd most points to running backs. Not a great matchup. But hey, man, Quinshon Judkins by the end of the year should and could win people championships as far as running backs goes.
Okay, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you out again. The Bills, like we said, they were number 2 in receptions to running backs. The Bears gave up over 2,000 rushing yards to running backs last year. That was second most. And you're telling me those are the 2 teams he's going up against in the playoffs?
Dude. I'm like, dude. And they run the fucking... and they're going to have a rookie running... They're going to probably have a rookie quarterback by the end of the season, Jason. They're going to be starting fucking Shedeur Sanders or the lefty from Oregon. Yeah. They're looking for the future. They need to find out an answer to those 2. So yeah, they're going to be running the hell out of the ball, dude, by the end of the year. So
I think it is going to be Sanders as well.
Yeah, Quinshon, dude, is going to be a target. I'll probably be fighting you and your dad if I had to guess.
Do you know what his ADP is right now?
Damn it, I don't have my shit up, but he's going late. He's going late.
I don't. Wait. Whoa, Tyler.
Hold on. If you Google ESPN Live ADP, Jason,
I got it right here. He is going running back 25.
Yeah, so if you get him as your late in running back 2, it's gonna be amazing. Running back 3, and you put him in your flex, we're fucking winning championships.
Going to the chip.
All right, Jason, give me some wide receivers you don't like that have bad schedules.
All right. Tyler, what's your favorite chip?
Chips?
Yeah.
Well, I would say salt and vinegar, kettle chips. I might eat. That's the only chips I could eat an entire bag, maybe. But right now, dude, give me that good salsa and good tortilla chips. Juanitas from Portland, gluten-free. I don't give a fuck about the chips, really. It's about that good salsa, Jason.
My favorite chips is Champ. Championships.
Oh my god! I was like, what the fuck are you talking about,
Let's
dude?
go. All right.
You're
Number
a dad,
one.
man. You're a dad.
I'm a dad. Oh my god, you're totally right.
I know.
Malik Neighbors. That's what I'm going to talk about right now. The worst strength of schedule for wide receivers is Malik Neighbors. Giants projected 5.5 wins. He goes against Commanders twice, Eagles twice, 49ers, Bears, Packers. With the Week 14 bye, that sucks. The Eagles, Commanders, and 49ers defense allowed under 200 receiving yards a game to wide receivers. Versus the Commanders, and in his first game against the Commanders last year, he scored 18. But the other 5 matchups that he had versus the Eagles and the Commanders, he averaged 8 points, 50 yards, and a 0.5 touchdown. So his best stretch of defense is week 1 through 6. I think I mentioned that with Russell Wilson as well. He does have good fantasy playoffs, but plays the Commanders in week 15. His ADP's wide receiver 7. I'm okay with that spot because, he's still going to get a lot of targets either way.
Well, yeah. I mean, his air yards, Jason led the league, and his target, I think his target share was 35%, which was like 5% more than anybody else. So, yeah, he's getting his fucking targets.
Yeah, so even though he's going to have bad matchups, he's going to, we talked about this, I think it was the last week, he's probably going to have one of the highest target shares in the league. So, just by volume in general, it's like, okay, but still going to get him.
Yeah. Continue.
No, that's it.
Well, I was just thinking, like, dude, I just put this guy up, like, I jumped him up like 5 spots, right? After I did my research for as far as air yard percentage, which was like insane, and then target share was 35%. I was like, what the fuck are we doing here, dude? Like, this guy's floor is in like top 5 wide receiver. And then I saw this and I was like, God damn it. So that's not great. But I still, Jason, I think that I would be totally cool and happy to have him as my number 1 wide receiver. And I would hope to God I could pick him up in the second round, is what I'm trying to say. If I can get him in the second round, I'd be totally cool with it. First round, I think I'd have an issue. So that is the line I think I'm drawing there.
Okay. Yeah. I think he's going to go first round in most leagues.
Yeah. So I'm probably not going to get him. I would need him at the top of the second for me.
Okay. Number 2, Tyler, CeeDee Lamb. Second worst. Cowboys projected 7.5 wins. They play the Commanders twice, Eagles twice, Bears, Jets, Broncos with a Week 10 bye. The Jets and the Eagles allow under 192 receiving yards a game to wide receivers last year. One game versus the Eagles, 2 points. One game versus the Commanders, 7 points. He missed the other games. I think he was hurt, because of his shoulder. He missed the last 2 games of the year. Week 13 through 16 is the best stretch of defenses for him. But then in week 17, championship week, he does play against the Commanders. For right now on Fantasy Pros, his ADP is wide receiver 3. And I must admit, with George Pickens, even with George Pickens, I'm starting to kind of worry about the strength of schedule because there's still question marks about the Cowboys offense with Dak Prescott, new coach and all that. But it might be okay still because he plays 46% of his snaps are in the slot. So I do like that. That's easy PPR points. Yeah,
Jason, CeeDee Lamb, if you got George Pickens there and you're either in the camp of it's going to hurt him or if it's going to help him. I think you said it's going to help him. So, yeah, I mean, his ceiling is wide receiver 1. I wouldn't give a shit about his fucking matchups at all if I had CeeDee Lamb.
Well, he's proved in the past though that the matchups against the Eagles and the Commanders. Well, I think it's the Commanders. It was Cooper Rush.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, dude. Like, if I got somebody that was that, I wouldn't care at all. So I'm still ranking CeeDee Lamb in my top 3, regardless of what his schedule is.
Well, his ADP is 3, and are you still you're comfortable with that?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't give a shit, dude, about a schedule. So I mean, there's certain wide receivers, especially wide receivers. I care maybe about like some running backs, and say they're going against Sauce Gardner or something. I care about a lot. Like there's like 2 cornerbacks, or the Denver guy. But as far as everybody else, I don't really care about for wide receivers.
Would you say you worry more about Malik Neighbors than CeeDee Lamb?
Yeah, because the fucking Giants offensive line and shit like that. So, but anyways, all right, give me another one.
I got one more. DJ Moore for the
Fucking
Bears.
DJ Moore, dude.
Dude, the Bears are projected 8.5 wins. I'm actually surprised about that. But
They should be good. They should be good.
The people in Vegas, they know more than I do. Maybe a little bit. Commanders, Bengals, Eagles, Packers, 49ers, and a week 5 bye. The Eagles and 49ers didn't allow, they allow under 192 receiving yards to wide receivers last year. Oh, damn. Versus the Commanders last year, DJ Moore scored 3 points. 2 games versus the Packers, he averaged 9 points, 70 yards, and 0.5 touchdowns. His week 1 through 4 is his best stretch of defenses. His fantasy playoffs aren't great because he plays against the Packers and the 49ers in the fantasy playoffs. His ADP is wide receiver 22. And I'm actually going to drop him. I'm going to drop him a little bit more because right now his ADP is above Courtland Sutton, but I'd rather have Courtland Sutton over DJ Moore.
Yeah, I'd rather Courtland Sutton all day, dog. I mean, what's his name? Romeo Odunze could be good, and they drafted another wide receiver as well. Plus the tight end, dude, Colson Loveland. Yeah. So yeah, DJ Moore didn't show much chemistry. I'm listen to all the fucking all of the Caleb Williams talk with nobody helping him watch film and all that shit. Terrible coaching. So we should take a huge step forward this year. And it's like, who's gonna be the benefactor the most? I mean, maybe DJ Moore, but I would be banking more on Rome Odunze, second year bump, and Colson Loveland, man. We've been seeing, Sam Laporta and then brought Bowers. Colson Loveland could be a top 5 tight end this year.
I'm trying to see right now where Rome Odunze is wide receiver 37.
Yeah, and dude, give him to me in the top in the top 36. That's no issue with me. I'd be getting him on upside. All right, Jason, let's go to the top. The best strength of schedules real fast. This guy, man, is actually a target. I've been targeting all Titans. So Tony Pollard, great value. Chigo Okonkwo, great values. He was tight end 4 for to end the season. Now he gets Cam Ward. Calvin Ridley, dog. All right. So they got rid of Treylon Burks. He is the number 1 here. They paid him. And Cam Ward has been tearing the rookie minicamp up. And when you look at his tape, you're like, fuck, dude. I mean, this guy's pretty good. Okay, so Calvin Ridley, his ceiling, wide receiver 8, weeks 8 through 12, averaging 17 points per game. So that's not bad at all. He's going pretty late right now. I think he's going as a low-end wide receiver 2, if I could remember correctly. And now this is the big one, Jason, because we care about target percentage, right? And we care about air yard, teams air yard percentage, because team air yardage percentage is all about what kind of are you getting deep passes? Are you getting what kind of yardage are you getting? And then the targets are dude, PPR, fucking machine, right? Floor. Well, man, this guy led the league in percentage of team air yards at 45%. So the way they call this offense, Jason, is through Calvin Ridley, for God's sakes. And now he gets a huge upgrade at quarterback. So I'm all about Calvin Ridley. So wide receiver 8, yeah, weeks 8 through 12. Like I said, he in the stats say that he should be higher than that. And then he gets the only shitty thing I saw was pretty terrible matchups in the playoffs. 49ers, 29th most points. The Chiefs, 25th most points. But he does get New Orleans in the championship. So if you somehow get through the first 2 rounds, oh my God, man, he will literally be on some championship teams this year.
I hate this so much because I was telling myself, I was on the toilet the other day and I was like, I'm giving up on Calvin Ridley. He's out of my. I'm gonna wipe him away, bro. I'm wiping him away. I was over it, dude, because I'm was it the past 2 or 3 years we keep on saying Calvin Ridley target?
This is a 4th year breakout. I know on Reddit they were saying the same thing, and I was like, dude, but this is different. Cam Ward.
I know, and it's you got Cam Ward. Cam Ward is obviously the best quarterback in this draft, and now he's got the best strength of schedule, and I'm like, oh my God, don't do it to me again. Don't do it to me again.
Okay, I'm gonna go fast. I'm gonna go fast. All right, I'm gonna go fast, Jason. We need to finish. All right, and then Juwan Johnson, real fast, dude. Wide receiver 24 on the season with games of 46 points, 28 points, 25 fantasy points. So a lot of those were without Brandon Ayuk. Some of those were with I can't remember who it was. A lot were with Deebo Samuel. But hey, dude, Juwan Johnson could be the wide receiver 1 for the 49ers. Fucking take the risk on him. If you want to take a risk on Brandon Ayuk, I think he's going late. But I think I like Juwan Johnson better, Jason, with that chemistry with the newly paid Brock Purdy. And then you look at his playoff schedule. The Titans, fucking terrible. The Colts, that's okay, dude. 11th most fantasy points. And then the Bears. So the Titans, terrible. With that quarterback from the Kansas City Chiefs, Shashid or whatever the fucking name is. And then the Bears with Josh Johnson, whatever his name is. So 2 terrible matches in the playoffs, but Juwan Johnson, Jason, will be a target of mine because you're going to get him super late. Anything about that real fast?
Ayuk was going to be one of the main guys I was going to target until I found out that he's going to miss like majority of the season. And
this season?
Ayuk?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going to miss majority of the season.
Jesus Christ. I need to check out on that because Juwan Johnson. Injury. Are you serious?
Tyler, you're the one that broke the news to me.
Was it Juwan Johnson? I thought it was somebody else. Anyways.
No, Brandon Ayuk.
Or was it Brandon? Man, we got to look at this more often. Holy fuck. If that's the case, this is fucked. Okay, anyways. Brian Thomas Jr., Jason, he broke out last year. Wide receiver 2, 23 fantasy points per game from week 13 on. So only Jamar Chase was better than him as a rookie. Oh my God, that's like Jamar Chase type of shit right there. Justin Jefferson type of shit. 4th in yards after contact or after the catch last year. That will continue because he's young. But look at his playoff schedule, Jason. He's got the Broncos. So Patrick Surtain in the first round. Fuck that. The Colts, I love it. And then the Titans. So 3 shitty matchups, or 2 out of the 3 are shitty matchups. But Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be your wide receiver 1. Are you comfortable, Jason, with Brian Thomas Jr. as your wide receiver 1 this year?
Yes, absolutely, 110%.
Because he's being devalued. I think he's going as wide receiver 9. So he's being devalued because of Travis Hunter. But I think Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be no problem their most targeted wide receiver by far.
Travis Hunter is only going to be on the field 70% of the plays.
Yeah, I mean, he might be. Yeah, he's going to be a borderline flex. So Brian Thomas Jr. is going to get all those fantasy points for you. All right, dog. Let's. I know you need to go. Jason's going out of town, man. He's going to be flying away in an airplane. Let's see if he fucking sees anything cool out the window.
I'm not going to be looking out the window. Are you kidding me?
Like, fuck this.
I'm going to take his Xanax bar and freaking just like zone out.
That's like me, dude. That's like, I can't take this shit. All right, Jason, tight ends, man. Give us the worst tight ends.
Jake Ferguson. Cowboys projected 7.5 wins. Eagles twice, Giants twice, Jets, Broncos, Cardinals, Lions, Vikings with the Week 10 bye. The Eagles and the Lions defense is bottom 2 in points allowed by tight ends. Average under 5 points per game in 2024. Wow. Versus the Eagles and Lions last year, he averaged 1 point in those 3 games. One of the games, he was negative. So he doesn't really have a good stretch of games either. But week 16 and 17 are manageable. But, I mean, it's only like 2 weeks out of the year. I mean, his ADP is tied in 17. This actually was going to be a sleeper of mine that I was thinking about. And after reading this, I'm not thinking that as much anymore. But ADP tight end 17, that's low enough. That's low enough. I'm okay with that. By that time, you're kind of just like grabbing at tight ends if you don't have one in mind.
Dude, Jason, there's a lot of flyers on tight ends this year. And a lot of the flyers I noticed have pretty good schedules. And if I remember correctly from my playoff schedule, just schedule matters. I think tight ends actually mattered because of the linebacker core and that kind of shit. Like, I know Mike Vrabel's going to be good against tight ends. I already know that because he always plays his linebackers well. So, yeah, I think it does matter. And so Jake Ferguson was kind of on my target list, and then I see this, and I'm just downgrading him a little bit. So I do think it matters for Jake Ferguson.
Rubio's here. He's saying that there's talks about Ayuk going to Dallas.
We need to fix. God damn it! I should have Googled this. It's like, we need to see this guy's health. What the fuck is this guy's health?
Yeah, that's so funny, Tyler, because you did it on Fantasy News and Brews. You told me about him. I was like, oh damn, I guess I'm taking him.
Are you sure it was Brandon Ayuk?
Yes, it was.
I was drunk. Who knows?
It was.
All right, and then who's another player, Jason?
Tucker Kraft. Let me get there real quick. All right, Tucker Kraft. Packers are projected 9.5 wins. So they play the Lions twice, the Vikings twice.
Yeah, you're right.
Cardinals, Eagles, Vikings. I already said Vikings. Giants, Broncos with the Week 5 bye. The NFC North teams, Lions and Vikings, average 5 points per game to tight ends. Not good. But the thing is, he did have an 11 and 13-point games versus the Lions and Vikings last season. But in the second game against those very same teams, he posted under 5 points. So it's like 50-50, hit or miss with him. The best stretch of games is week 2 through 6. Week 16 and 17, he plays the Bears and Ravens. His ADP is oh my God. His ADP is tight end 10. I will be dropping Kraft lower and moving the rookies up. So now I'm going to put both the main rookies.
You talking about Tucker Kraft, Jason?
And Warren above him. Sorry.
You talking about Tucker Kraft?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what bothers me about Tucker Kraft, dude, nobody talks about Luke Musgrave from my Oregon State. And it's like, dude, they drafted this fucker in the second round. They just forgot about him. I get Tucker Kraft was drafted in the third round. I get that. But still, man, Luke Musgrave was breaking out right before he got injured. And then Jason, Brandon Ayuk has a glimmer of hope to make it back by the season opener. So, yeah, you're right. Juwan Johnson, man, give him to me.
Tyler, you're right, because you're the one that broke it like a month ago.
This is what's good about not remembering shit, Jason. You could just be like, oh, this is new to me. I love it. All right, Jason, give me another player you hate or that's got a bad schedule.
Okay, this one's an interesting one. Doesn't matter. We'll see. Brock Bowers, third worst schedule. Raiders projected 6.5 wins. Broncos twice. Chargers twice. Titans, Eagles, Giants with a week 8 bye. The teams in AFC West average 6 points a game to tight ends. Versus the Chargers, the highest points Bowers scored is 11 points last year. Versus the Broncos, he had a 15-point game, so that's great. The best stretch of games are week 3 through 6. Also a tough fantasy playoff for the Eagles and Giants. ADP is tight end 1. That's okay because you know he's going to get a lot of volume. Like I said, the Broncos are one of the tough teams, but he ended up scoring 15 points against them. I will remember that forever because that's the week I played against you, Tyler. I remember he scored like a 70-yard touchdown on a jump ball. It was pretty good. But he's going like in the second round. I'm not getting him in the second round. Ain't going to happen. I'm not going to do it.
Dude, give me Colson Loveland like in the fucking whatever round, man, over Brock Bowers. So, yeah, I mean, my biggest issue was who's going to be their quarterback, and then they got Geno Smith, so I was like, oh, yeah, it'll be fine. Like, Brock Bowers has a very good chance to repeat as the number one tight end, much more than Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta caught 10 touchdowns that rookie year. He was kind of an outlier as far as he was due for some regression. Dude, Brock Bowers was not about those touchdowns. It was all about target share. He led the league and he led the tight ends in targets, but I think he was like second or third as far as tight ends in teams' air yard share. So, yeah, Jason, I love Brock Bowers, but I'm just not fucking picking a tight end in the first 4 rounds, so I don't care.
Yeah, same. Same with me.
All right, so you got your guys?
Yep.
Jason, a guy in a tier of himself, the rich get fucking richer, right? So Trey McBride, like pretty much, we're talking about Brock Bowers having a shitty schedule. Well, guess what, dude? The other number one tight end being taken has the best schedule. He led tight ends in team air yard share at 25%, dude. So this guy had like 25% of the intended yards, and he's a shallow target. So that's how many fucking targets this guy got. He was 8th in the league among all players with 147 targets. So that's crazy. Only Brock Bowers had more. I think he had 150 something.
153.
Yeah, and then you look at the playoff schedule, Jason. This is not great. The Texans, man, D'Amico Ryans, ex-linebacker, right? Knows how to play linebackers. He does not give up many points to the tight ends. But say he gets past that. He gets the Falcons, who are average. Then he gets the Bengals, dude, who give up the number one most points to tight ends. And you can see the Cardinals scoring a ton of points against the Bengals, maybe a shootout. So he could be another time. He was on the most common players for a championship team this year. He could do it again, no problem. Anything to say about Trey McBride, Jason?
Yeah, you say he's going against the Bengals. The Bengals gave up the most receptions to tight ends and the second most touchdowns to tight ends last year. Yeah,
so I mean that's what I'm saying. If you get through those 2 first rounds, especially the Texans, that first one with Will Anderson and such. Oh my God, and Danielle Hunter. Oh my God. Good luck with that. But if you do, you will be a fantasy champion. And then Jatavion Sanders, Jason, for he was a 4th-round draft pick in 2024. They drafted him to help Bryce Young. He was actually scoring like 12 points, 9 points, 10 points. Then he got injured. He was on my waiver wire list. So I was kind of looking at him for maybe a potential breakout this season, Jason. But then they went and got King Tet, all right, that huge wide receiver from Arizona. I'm not so interested in this guy anymore. And now he's got a playoff schedule of the New Orleans Saints, the 23rd most, so that's a pretty bad matchup. The Bucks, amazing matchup, dude. They always give up a ton of points. And then I hate the Seattle matchup in the playoffs because of the fucking Ravens old defensive coordinator going over there. Usually defensive coordinators do not give up many points to tight ends. So yeah, Jatavion Sanders was I kind of had my eye on, and then the draft, and now the schedule. I'm not really going to be targeting him late. I only want one tight end on my team for the most part, and it's not going to be Jatavion Sanders.
Yeah, I don't really have much to add to that one.
Well, hey, dude, this next one's exciting. Super exciting, because I was like, Terrence Ferguson, they fucked up. It was Jake Ferguson. Oh, that's right. I forgot about this. This was like the surprise of the draft for me, and I needed to write it down. Jason, the Rams, they were looking to trade up for Brock Bowers last year. Guess what they did this year? They fucking picked up a tight end in the 2nd round, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody is talking about it at all. All right, he was not on our rankings for the top tight ends that we were interested in. All this shit, but I believe in Sean McVay, so I don't care what I think. I will be targeting Terrence Ferguson, Jason. They traded up to pick that. They fucking picked him up in the 2nd motherfucking round for the Rams, where they need all kinds of help. And then, but the only problem is they hit the Lions, but they just lost Aaron Glenn, right? The Lions were the 2nd best team against tight ends last year, so I hate that matchup. But without Aaron Glenn, I'll roll the dice. Seattle, I fucking hate that matchup. And then the Falcons, 15th. So not the greatest matchup, Jason, but with Sean McVay, dude, and the way that Tyler Higbee's been targeted in the past, I know they have Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua, who are going to be the number 1 and number 2 most targeted wide receivers in the league almost. But Terrence Ferguson, if I was ever going to draft a 2nd tight end, it will be Terrence Ferguson. I see me spending money on him on the waiver wire, though.
Are you talking about he could be like a streamer for next year, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying, dude, I'm interested that because I know they wanted Brock Bowers. It's a huge deal that they tried to trade up for Brock Bowers last year. And now this guy fucking got him in the 2nd round this year. Like, I don't know. They desperately want a talented tight end for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. This one's going to be a little bit tough for me. It's like, with Puka, sorry, dude. With Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, and then we got a rookie tight end. Yeah.
All right, hey, we went long, Jason. We went long.
A lot of information, a lot of players, a lot of interesting facts.
Thank you so much for watching, everybody. If you stood around for the whole fucking time, or if you came here for 1 second to hear me right now, thank you very much. This is Tyler, or hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription, man. We need that shit, dog. We need it. Just look at us. We're living in squalor over here. Jason's living in his garage. I've got a whiteboard behind me. This is where I sleep. But hey, Jason, send us out.
Tyler, you look like you got the outside is grown inside your house with weed on the.
This has been here since Christmas 2023.
Yeah, I know. It's been there for a while.
I don't ask questions.
It's now fusing into the bricks.
It's going to be yellow by next year. I don't know why it's not turning yellow yet.
Okay, Tyler, do you have an extra video coming out this week?
Yeah, but I need to think about it. I'm going to use this weekend to think about it. Sometime next week, I'm going to do something.
All right, and you know what? I'm not sure what we're doing next Friday, but we'll be here again at 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock this time. We were a little bit early because I got to go catch a flight because I'm leaving on a jet plane. I hope I make it there and back again. Anyways, I'll see you guys next Friday at 6 o'clock. Join us with some brewskis at Talk Shop. Deuces.
Later.